Welcome to Center Stage Music Center Online. I'm one of the instructors here. My name is Ulysses, and today I'm going to be showing you how to play 3 scales for levels 1 and 2 NYSSMA. Alright, now let's check out a C major scale, just 1 octave, again for level 1 and level 2. As I've said in other videos, we want to check our tuning. Alright, so I'm going to start in first position, and then I'm going to put down my second finger right there, and that should be the note C. When I play open G, and then I play the C, they should sound pretty nice together. If they're not sounding nice, for instance, if it sounds like this, not in tune. There it is. All right, so let me play it for you, then we'll discuss it. Alright, so let's talk about a couple features about the C scale. First, I'll just go through the fingering. Like I said, we're starting on second finger, open D, first finger E, second finger F, open G, first finger A. Now, check this out right here. We have a shift, okay? So my note B is normally pinky. Instead of using pinky, I'm going to shift with my middle finger to that note. It's important when we shift that the back finger stays down. I'm not doing this. The only time I might do that is if I add vibrato, but I encourage you when you first learn these scales, don't do vibrato. Focus on finding the center of the note. Keep it in tune. There's my C, fourth finger. So 2, 4, just like a D scale. All right? Coming backwards, 4, 2. Now I'm thinking ahead. What note comes after that B? It's going to be A, so I have to shift. I can even check if that A is in tune by playing with open D. Again, it sounds like one sound. That means we're in tune. Open G, second finger, first finger, open D, second finger C. All right. So I encourage you to try to play this with the drone. That means go to YouTube and put C drone and you'll get probably a cello recording, and that's a great tool for helping you stay in tune. All right, but for this one, it's all in one place. There's a little shift here, but aside from that, it's pretty simple. So I'll play it right now and I want you to join me. Let's do it right here at this speed. Half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat the top note. G. All right, that's the C major scale. All right, now let's check out a G major scale. So for level 1 and 2, we just need to do a 1 octave G major scale. Now it's going to start here, first position, E string, second finger. Now I can check the intonation, right, if the note's in tune by playing this open G. It should be the same note, but an octave higher. Okay, sounds pretty good to me. It looks like we're in tune. Little thing, when you're playing on the E string, especially if you're using a German style bow like this, it does help to, and even with a French bow, to kind of cheat out a little bit. Just let that bass just slightly tilt. That way I can get that full range of motion. Even overhand, you still could benefit from that because we don't want to hit our knee like that, right? Okay, little thing right there. So I'll play it for you first, then we'll discuss it. So, as I said, we're starting on second finger on the low E string. Open A. First finger B on the A string. Second finger C. I can freeze here for a second. If I play my open G string with that note, that's an interval of a fifth. Again, it should sound like one note. If I'm out of tune, even just a little bit, it starts to be apparent. In fact, it's worse if you're out of tune just a little bit, because a fifth needs to be perfect. Open D, first finger E right here. And here's our accidental, F sharp. And then here's our open G. Open G, F sharp, fourth finger. There's my first finger E. Open D. C. B. A. Cheat out a little bit for that G if you need to. And try to play with the whole bow. That's always a good practice. All right. So I'll play it for you slowly so you can play along. How about at this tempo? Half notes. Right about there. 1, 2, 3, 4. G. Good luck. All right, let's get started. We're going to be playing a D major scale. You may be familiar with this. Let's check it out. And by the way, I'm using a German style bow, not the overhand French style bow. This is the underhand German style. A few things about that scale. One of the things you may notice is that I tried to not do vibrato. That's really important when you're really focusing on intonation, right? Intonation is if the note itself is in tune. Vibrato tends to mask that. So when we're practicing scales and really focusing on tuning, don't do vibrato. Once you have your scales down, then go vibrato crazy. I did go vibrato crazy. I used a very wide vibrato, right? So, or you can go a little bit subtler. One other very subtle thing you can do is you can do vibrato on an open string. You do it over here by the nut. And that's the open G sound. Okay. Now, as far as intonation, important things we want to be aware of. Most importantly, we want to know if that high D is in tune, and that's really easy on upright bass because we have a harmonic right where the D should be. Okay, so right where I normally would play that note, I just don't push down, I just touch it lightly. And there should be the same note, just an octave up. It also exists right up there as well, and same D. Well, different octaves. All right. Another thing I highly encourage you to do is to practice with a drone. So I just go to YouTube, I put in D drone. You can hear it a little bit from my phone. And this is going to tell me if I'm in tune or not. It's important to make sure that your bass is in tune before you start. And you can hear the notes against the open D. can't overstress how valuable it is to practice with the drone. It is incredible for your ear and just for your intonation in general to make sure you're on track. So now let's discuss the fingering that I'm using for the D major scale. We're going to be in first position, okay, thinking of our Simandl fingerings if you're familiar with that. Otherwise, it's likely the place you start normally in orchestra class, first position. My first finger is hovering over the note E on the D string, and my pinky is hovering over F sharp. That way I'm prepared when I need to play them. We're going to go open. First finger. Fourth finger for that F sharp. Open G. First finger for A. I want to freeze here because this is a good place to check yourself. You can play the D and the A at the same time. Hear how it sounds like one note? That's how we know it's in tune. If it's out of tune, it's very clear that it's out of tune. So check that. Try playing those two at the same time. It's a great reference point. We're going to go to fourth finger for that B. Now here's our accidental, C sharp. So we're going to shift to second finger. And now D. With fourth finger there. And again, check that harmonic. Pretty good. Backwards. D, C sharp. Very important. When you're playing C sharp, you're thinking B. I'm thinking about the shift coming up. There it is. First finger. A. Open G. F sharp. E. D. Alright, so that was 4-1, open, 4-1, open. Let's try playing it together. Slow tempo. Half notes. 3, 4. Repeat the top note there, so make sure you do that too. That's it for today's lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and please be sure to leave a comment below and come back anytime to check out more videos from Center Stage Music Center online.